so low? All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Chig and Eagle coming to you again with a brand new video, and it is a preview. Not only is it a preview, it's my very first ever membership stream preview. What does this essentially mean? So I decided to ramp this up and change it up in terms of the Europa League previews. Obviously, whenever I do a video, I always try and take stock of that video. So things that I try and do is I try and rewatch them, particularly if they are previews, relatively short videos. If they are videos in which I want to scrutinize it. If there are videos where I get a lot of comments about particular things. So I always try and take stock of all my videos. One of the things I've never been all the way happy about, especially in the early stages of the competition, is my Europa League preview numbers. Never all the way happy with it. And it was something I've always been trying to look at ways to try and improve it and to try and improve those numbers. So one of the things I wanted to kind of do really was I wanted to add some value for you members really, because I feel like I do membership streams quite regularly. And I feel like in general, you'll get a stream once every 10 days. I want to slightly increase that. So moving forward, every Europa League preview will be a membership stream. So that means I'll get one or two of you on. We'll talk about the game. We'll talk about kind of the news leading up to the game, the squad. We'll keep it very preview focused. You give me your team, your teams, what 11 that you would put out there, what you think Arteta might put out there. It'll be very brief. We're not going to diverge into various different conversations because the one thing I like our topical debates. But like, for example, last week I was supposed to stay on an hour. I ended up staying on 2 hours. I want to try and avoid those situations. So in this particular one, I don't want our preview to be too long because ultimately the people who do watch this don't want this to be going on for ages and ages. So I want to make sure that you guys are getting enjoyment out of it, but that you are having fun with me while you were doing the preview. So hopefully you guys will get enjoyment out of that. So my kind of promise for my members moving forward is that I will do at least 1 hour and a half plus topical video on a Sunday during the course of a month. So for this month, it's likely to be when the international break is. And then all the rest of my membership streams will be Europa League based. So for everyone that is watching, that means in order to participate, be on the stream, be in the chat, you have to be a member. It's very easy to become a member. There's a 2-tier system, one for silver memberships, which I believe is $2.99, and the gold membership streams, which is a couple of quid more expensive. That's because you get extra stuff. It's as simple as that. It's all an effort to help the show. It's all an effort to support the show. One of the things I want to try and target is a brand new professional camera. One of the things that you guys have been urging me to get for ages. So I have started to put some effort and savings into that. And an iPad. Those are 2 things on my hit list. So yes, if you're wondering where that money goes to, it will be going towards those 2 items. So anyway, in the meantime, please do stick a like on this video. Everyone can do that, regardless of if you're a member or not. That also helps. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I am 380 away from 10K. So that'd be great if I can get that box ticks off. And yeah, let's see if we can get this preview going. Now, I know I did speak to DVS earlier. I said earlier, he did message earlier to ask if he can be on the preview. Happy to be so. Again, I don't want too many people on. Like I said, I want these previews to be relatively short, snappy. And when there's like more than 2 people on, usually one person takes over, and then you have to try and, it just gets so complicated because then the other people that have been waiting, then go back to the point that that one person who took over's earlier point, and then it just gets all lost. I want to try and keep some sort of order. So yeah, so hopefully you guys will find this, first of all, useful. Second of all, fun. Those are the main purposes of these changes. Okay. So without further ado, first of all, let me say hello to my guy, Nathaniel. Big up for your donation, Nathaniel. $1.99. You can tell Arsenal have hung Saliba to dry. Do you know what? I don't even like to think about him, bro. It kind of breaks my heart a little bit because I look at it and I just think, fuck, is he that bad? Is he that bad? But I don't know. I don't know. What can I say? This is one of the major gripes I have with Mikel, but we'll see what happens. That is one thing I'm going to cover as part of this preview, as you can imagine, because it was mentioned as part of his preview stream. But for anyone who doesn't know, and thank you, Nathaniel, for that donation once again. Essentially, what happened was during his pre-match preview, a reporter interestingly asked him, basically said to him that Saliba is getting fed up of his situation and is seeking a move in January. I saw that story earlier. It's like, who the fuck can blame him? And Mikel said, well, I'm getting sick of his situation as well. I'm like, first of all, sorry? The situation which you put him in, you mean? That you've just suddenly decided for whatever reason that he is not good enough. He is not good enough, but the likes of David Luiz and Squadron Mustafi apparently are. Anyway, I'm trying not to get overworked here, trying to calm down, right? But he was like acting annoyed at the question. It's like, but bro, this is a situation you put him in. You put him in. This is even if you want to take a step back and say, all right, this ain't my signing. Could he really be so bad? So bad that you're like, no, you ain't getting into Europa League squad. I'd rather like the bar that he used today was, oh well, he needs a transitional year. Excuse me? When we got him, we immediately loaned him. Surely that was his transitional year, if you want to put it like that. So all of a sudden now he needs another transitional year. I know, I get it. I know what people are going to say. Oh, well, Chig, you're not a coach. After all, who knows what we're seeing on a day-to-day basis. It just frustrates because, yes, for all those people that are going to tell me that David Luiz hasn't fucked up in about 34, in about 20 to 30 games or so, okay. For those people who are going to tell me that, Squadron Mustafi ain't that bad, whatever. Are you telling me that Saliba is showing so little potential that he is worse than those guys? I'm finding that real uncomfortable to accept or to say yes to, and it just, for me, I don't know. I don't know. I feel sorry for the kid. I do. I feel sorry for him because clearly a lot has happened to him over this summer period. And it sounds like Arsenal handled it in their usual shoddy way. And the only thing I can see happening is, him just keeping his head down and then getting a move back to Saint Etienne. And then Lord knows what happens from there. Arteta and young players, man, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. Yeah, all right, Gabriel started well because he's clearly a very good talent. And so is Saka. But these are not people that Arteta has developed and subsequently thrown in there. That's not what has happened with those two. I think he just has a philosophy of he does not trust young players. I don't know where he's got that philosophy from because, to be honest, even Arsene Wenger trusted young players. Maybe Arsene Wenger sometimes trusted young players too much. So did Emery. So I don't know where this has come from. Pep, I know, is not hugely into trusting young players, but even with Pep, he's starting to play Ben Foden more. He's starting to play some youngsters more because he has to. So I'm fine. The fact that he kind of the press conference, I ain't gonna lie, from that point onwards, I did not like reading what I read or watching what I watched. But anyway, it is what it is. DVS, are you still about? Let me know. Make yourself aware in the chat. Syed, as much as I love having you on, my brother, I've had you on a lot recently. I want to see if I can have one more person on to do this preview with, whether it's yourself, Sergio, whether it's yourself, Rune, whoever wants to come on with me and DVS to do the preview. Once again, let yourself know. I will send you a DM. But yeah, I think from my perspective, when we look towards the Europa League, these are the sorts of games I would have liked Saliba to play. I would have liked Saliba to play against a couple of PE teachers. I'd have liked Saliba to play against, Farmer Johns and people like that. These are the sorts of teams that you are physically going to improve. Like I just, however you look at it, I just don't understand why Arteta was saying no, not that guy. I don't get it. I don't get it. I would have rather Arteta said, you know what, Kolasinac, allow it, innit? Sit down, bruh. We got Ainsley there. We got Tierney there. Sit down, innit? That to me would have made more sense than you play the kid, and then go from there. But yeah, I think from my own perspective, I'm disappointed, and I just want to see. I guess I guess I just want to see. I want to see how he does on his loan, and I want to see what happens in the summer. But it is what it is. Looking ahead towards the game, you're looking at Molde. They have 6 points in the group. They are, from what I gather, they are a pretty difficult team to break down. What people tell me is that they play very tight football. Obviously, they're on Norwegian side. They played a lot of their season already. I think their season's either complete or it's damn near complete. They are currently second in the table, a long, long way behind first. But they are currently second in the table. Is that behind Godo? I don't know. Bodo? I don't know. They're ahead of Rosenborg and a team called Odd. So this should be interesting. They've seemed to have won their last 4 games, but they lost their last game. Or have I read that right? Let me double check that, because I could be reading that the wrong way around. Just hold on. Let me just double check. Okay, yeah, I was reading it the wrong way around. So they've won their last 4 games, and then they lost the one before that. So they're on decent form. On Sunday, which was their most recent game, they won 3-1 away from home. Prior to that, they beat Rapid Vlen 1-0. And they beat Dundalk, which is the team that we played last week in the Europa League, 2-1 away from home. So they look like a decent outfit. This is a team that I can imagine us struggling a lot against. But it is what it is. Again, I would still expect Arsenal to come out on top and do what they do. I think with that being said, I should start to see if... All right, let me look into seeing whether I can have a couple of people on. Bear with me. I should play some lift music, really. Bear with me, and we'll get this thing going. So what I'm going to do, just to let you guys know, is I'm just going to get a couple of people on. We're not going to go on for very long. This is not a show where people are going to talk for ages. We just want to make this a nice, snappy thing purely about the preview before we head up out of here. And then I'm going to get your team name, your ideal teams to play. What's it called? Your teams to play Molde, and then we'll get up out of here. So, with further ado, let me just get something up that will help. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I do feel pretty disappointed about the whole Saliba thing. I knew Saliba weren't going to start the season. I actually said I don't think he's going to start the season. But I just think to myself, flip, is he that bad? That's all I kept thinking was, is he that bad? But hey ho, it is what it is. Do you know what I just realized? It would help if I there you go. That's the team that are first. Are you Norwegian, Rune? Is that why you know that? I'm guessing that's why you know that. All right, guys. I don't know where TDS is. I was looking for DVS. He seems to have literally disappeared off the face of the earth. So I sent a link to Max because I saw him ask, and DVS, you did ask and then you just bounced, which was weird. Sergio, if you want to come on, let me know. Rune, if you want to come on, let me know. But I'm only going to have one of you on. But yeah, in the meantime, I think for me, I just want Arsenal to compete. I want Arsenal to hustle. I want Arsenal to do well. I noticed there was a question today about whether Arsenal have separate teams for the Europa League and separate teams for the Premier League. And I think at this stage, it's normal, absolutely normal for us to have separate teams for each at such an early stage. It's a weird question to ask Arteta, in my opinion. It's like, would you ask another team that? Of course. You got to manage your team through the business end of the season. As we start to approach Christmas, things are getting more and more serious. We have to be able to rotate the side and rotate, particularly for me, the central areas of the team. So I think that's what Arteta is doing. That's one part of Arteta's game that I have no issue with. I have no issue if he rotates the players. Now, who he plays there will be an interesting question, but for me, that part I have no issue with. All right, without further ado, I'm going to have. I see Max in the lobby. I'm going to add Max to the stream. Hello, Max. You good?
G'day, Chig. How you going?
Yeah, not bad, man. Not bad.
Dude, this smile has been on my face since Man United. It's not coming off. It's it's not coming off. It's gonna be firmly lodged on there, and it's been lodged on there since we won. It's not coming off anytime soon.
Since the United game, huh?
Yeah.
How did you feel about it?
Dude, I've never been proud of the boys. It was probably it was probably a better performance that I've seen since the Man City game to the lead up to the FA Cup final. It was absolutely superb, and there's not much I can say that hasn't already been said by you and Lee, and it was, phenomenal. And I saw Bear Man chatting a lot of rubbish, and I had my tweets ready. And Bear Man got battered on Twitter, and I'm loving every single minute of it. Every minute of it.
Okay. So I guess in that respect, moving on to tomorrow's game, you're still confident. Are you confident based off the Man United game, or are you confident because you would already be confident going into this game anyway?
Why can't it be both? Why
Okay.
can't it be both? Why can't it be both? Confident in general, and just even more confident because of the Man United game.
Okay. In that respect, I guess, do you know much about Molde that we don't already know already?
I can't say I have. I can't say that I'm going to be. I've watched the Norwegian league and it's studied every team, but I know enough to say that that this team isn't going to be an easy game where we're going to just win comfortably. It's going to be a tight game, but I still think we'll have enough to get over the line.
I just realised something, and I'm going to feel like I'm a dumbass straight after this. Are Molde the team that Solskjaer managed before United?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
And that's correct. And the funny thing is, I'm not sure if you know this, but their current manager actually rings up Ollie for tactics. He rings up Ollie. Yeah, he rings up Ollie for tactics and says, "What do you reckon I should do this game?" And if he's ringing up Ollie for tactics, boy, he must be desperate.
The only thing I would say, I know this might sound stupid. I don't necessarily mind that tactic of his for tomorrow, for the simple reason that they've only just played us. So if anyone can kind of illustrate what went wrong in their game, it would be Ollie. But at the same time, it's Ollie. So I don't know. That I can kind of. I mean, I can kind of understand that. I wouldn't do it myself, but I can kind of understand that. But that is interesting. That is a little part of information I did not know before. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So, all right. What would your team be then, I guess, headed into that game tomorrow?
See, I think this is screaming for a 4-3-3. It's screaming for a 4-3-3. But what is Arteta going to use the system? That's the question. That's where the debate's going to come down to. Whether is he going to play a 4 or is he going to play a 3? Personally, for me, if you all wanted to know what my opinion on it, I think I would play a 4, but I don't think he's going to.
Interesting.
But if you want to know what my lineup would be, I play a 4.
Well, he seems to be. Well, I mean, I didn't think he did, but there was a couple of times I'm pretty sure he played a 3 against Dundalk. So I don't know if that just seems to be his. That just seems to be his formation now, regardless. So I guess with that in mind, don't talk to me about what Arteta would do. Talk to me about what you would do.
Okay, I'd play a 4. Okay. I would play a 4-3-3.
So what would your team be?
Alex, Cedric, Holding and Mustafi, Maitland-Niles, left back, Xhaka, Willock, Ceballos, then Pepe, Eddie, and either Reece or Saka, one of the two on the other side.
All right, go on. Give me a little breakdown because I'm going to do this myself. Give me a little breakdown of why you've chosen the guys that you've chosen.
Alex, because he was superb in the last Europa League game and he didn't do too much wrong. He barely got anything to deal with, so he goes in and I'd keep Leonard for the Premier League games, and I think Alex needs to start now and start nail down a Europa League spot. Cedric, because he seems to be the alternative to Bellerin during the cup games and one of these kind of games, so he goes in there. Holding because it's because I'd rather have him in the 4 than Luis, simple straight up. Mustafi because the other defenders are injured, and I think this is where we'll start playing most of him. So I think he gets in. Maitland-Niles because I think he deserves to get more game time. I don't know. I know he wasn't great against a few of the games, but I think he deserves a start. Obviously Xhaka is going to get played in there because Xhaka is his boy, and I think Elneny is going to be playing more Premier League games than you realize. I think Xhaka is going to be more Europa League games because he's got the Tony Circle of a ship. And Willock, because he was great last time. I think he didn't. I think he was superb. So he goes in there. I think Tobias will play because to just add a bit more of a midfield balance. I think with him and Willock adds creativity there because Willock will give him the license for him to go forward. Pepe, mate, that goal was absolutely sublime. The last time I saw it, for him just to turn around and shoot it with his right foot.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie, because Eddie starts in most of the Europa League games, purely sake of giving the main boys a rest. And I think personally for me, I think Reece Nelson's going to start over Saka because Saka is going to come on with probably half time or something like that, and just close it out. And I think same with Balogun as well. I think he'll come on a half time for winning the game, and he'll come on and make an impact.
The Balogun situation is pretty interesting, isn't it? Because I've been to and froing about whether or not I start him. I've seen 2 different articles about him recently. Some think that there are people within Arsenal that are holding a very slim hope that they may be able to convince Balogun to stay this season. And then there are some that have just resigned themselves to go in, and they're just essentially managing the resource that we have. Where do you stand on the Balogun debate?
For me, I like him. For me, I think we should keep a hold of him. I think he's a great young player, and he's come up through the academy and all that kind of stuff. And I think he's going to be the future of our attack in the distant future at some point. And I think we need to keep a hold of our team. We shouldn't be a team where we let our best players go. And this is what I've always criticized Arsenal for. I think we need to keep hold of these prospects: Gabriel Martinelli, Saka, Balogun. Keep hold of our best young players. And I don't. For me, I think Reece needs to do more. I think I'm on the fence with him. I think he needs to prove himself more and give Arteta more of a headache. For me, I think he's hot and then he's cold, and he's hot and then he's cold. He's too up and down. Same with Willock. I think I think Willock's kind of starting to pick more of a pickup form than Reece Nelson is, but I think he needs to do more to give Arteta more of a headache. But yeah, no, 100 million percent, we definitely should keep hold of him, and I think Balogun will play more of the games once the group stage is more clenched, and I think you'll see more of him playing once we're it's in the bag. You know what I
mean? Yeah. And I take Ben's point because I also saw that story that supposedly Balogun will start. I only think Balogun will start if Pepe doesn't, because then I can see them potentially going 2 up top. But I don't know. I don't know about that yet. But we'll see. I'll tell you what. If Balogun starts tomorrow, I'm going to be very hopeful that we'll keep him, because then you'll think to yourself, well, what are Arsenal doing? They're really suddenly investing a lot of time into this guy. So yeah.
Can I quickly touch upon the William Saliba situation? For me, I think personally, for me, I think it was a wrong situation at the right time. That's how I word it. I think a bad situation happened that kind of messed everything up in the wrong order, and it kind of happened at the right time, if you get what I mean. It's basically, for me, I think he came from sitting with a lot of sort of headway, a lot of he's going to be this, he's going to be that. And for me, I think I still got a lot to prove. I think you got to remember that he's only 19 years of age. He's going to be here for our future. He's probably going to be our future centre back pairing. So there's no need to rush him and stress him out in a situation where it's already difficult. I think also obviously the situation with his mum dying and all that kind of stuff put him in a bit of a wrong headspace, and I can kind of understand how you don't want him starting when he's not in the right headspace, because it's going to destroy his confidence. I can understand that, but I can also understand your point about can he be any worse than Mustafi? You know what I mean, and all that kind of stuff. I can understand your point of view as well. But I think personally, for me, I think if he ends up going out on loan, coming back, and whatever it is he ends up doing, I think he's going to be a stronger person for it, and I think you'll see him more of it in a year's time or 6 months' time or how long he's out there, and I think he's going to be in the right headspace. But I mean, you just
Hopefully, because listen, I'm not necessarily saying it's going to be the next coming of
no, of course not.
Varane or whatever, but I think for me, from the very brief spell I saw of him, I like the look of him. I'd like to see more of him. I like the idea of potentially him and Gabriel almost developing together, but I understand the point that anyone will make there is that clearly Gabriel in anybody's development is clearly much more ahead than Saliba is. I think Gabriel surprised everybody in terms of how quickly he seems to have picked this up. Even at the weekend, where I would have assumed Gabriel would have got sent off, probably could have at one point, but actually kind of took hold of himself and kind of
same with Rob Holding as well. Same with Rob Holding as well. A few times he could have got an extra yellow card there. He was playing with fire, you know. And speaking of Gabriel, my Gabriel shirt just arrived yesterday.
Is that your Gabriel?
The Gabriel shirt just arrived yesterday, the blue one.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, you know what? You want to know what's funny, Chig? My Gabriel shirt arrived yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
And I put a picture of the Gabriel shirt and me wearing it and whatever. And the funny thing is, Gabriel ended up liking the status.
Oh, is it? There you go.
I was hoping for like a cheeky message or something, but I got a like, so I'm like, I'm happy with that.
I like as a result. I've never had a like of a player, so that's good. Hold on, let me show you guys what my team is then. So, hopefully, it's not too dissimilar from the team that Max has. I've decided to play 4 at the back. I agree with you. I think with Alex Runnison, didn't do a lot wrong. I actually liked his footwork. He looked nice and tidy, actually, in the first game that I saw him play against Dundalk. So I'd like to see more of him. Cedric, yeah, everyone knows he's not my favourite player. Must confess he wasn't that bad the last time I saw him play. So let's see him play more. Decided I want to see Chambers. Because I figure if we're going to lose... if we're going to lose, what's his name? If we're going to lose Saliba anyway, I'd like to see some experienced hands in there. Someone with a little bit of composure, who's calm, and actually someone who I trust more than Louise and Mustafi, and that is Callum Chambers. So I'd like to see him play there. I think Holding, although I did take back yesterday my initial rating for him on Sunday, I do think he needs games. So I'd like to see him play in this game, try and work on his fitness. So,
I thought you were holding. I thought you and Lee's holding rating was bare tough, man.
It was tough. And that's why yesterday I changed it to a 6 because I figured.
Personally, for me, like watching a stream, again, this is just a outside perspective, but I thought for me personally that the defense yesterday were at least all 7s. Well, at least all 7.
I mean, you could definitely think that. I think he looked off the pace to me. I don't think he looked that bad. On reflection, I don't think he was that bad. But it's definitely out of all the defense, he looked off the pace to me. So I'd like to see him with Holding. It's all about momentum and playing him as much as possible and getting him as sharp as possible. And he's the most comfortable when he plays with Callum Chambers. Weirdly, we don't play him. We don't play them together. We never played them together. They're like flatmates. They live together. They've got a great relationship, but we never play them together. So,
they live together, they eat together, they train together, but they'll never play together.
Yeah, they never play together, which is really weird. So I'd quite like to see them together. And
do you know your team lineup? You know your team lineup is only 2 different from mine.
Oh yeah, I figured when you said it. I
can't believe it. I almost got it completely nailed on to your one.
I've also gone with Tierney here, but I'm going to change it because I'm an idiot. I had something else in my mind. I put Tierney by accident. So I've gone with Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
Okay, so now one wrong. One change.
Because fuck Kolasinac. I've gone with Granit Xhaka just as an anchor. Now, the
Yep.
reason I've gone with him as an anchor is because I figure there are two runners next to him that will help
Mm-hmm.
him. So I've gone with Granit Xhaka as an anchor. I've gone with Joe Willock because I thought he was superb. By far the best game I've seen him play. Last week, I thought it was fantastic and deserves to play tomorrow. Ceballos, I've gone with him next to him. I'd like to see more out of the spinning top, to be honest, because he's fallen by the wayside a little bit, but I'd like to see a little bit more out of him. And then the top three. So I've gone with, and this is interchangeable, but I've gone with Pepe on the right, Nelson on the left, and Eddie up top. Very nearly went with Balogun, but I just figure if Eddie's tiring him out, you give Balogun half an hour or so, and he can do his magic.
As I said to you, I think if we're, as I said to you, I think if we're 2-0 up, I think Balogun will be on at halftime.
That's what I'm hoping.
Once we secure the group state, like the group, I think we'll see more of him.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. So yeah,
I also think the lineup that we both picked, more or less, is it either going to be too far off or too much different? And,
I'm hoping so. I see. It's funny you should say that. So I can see him playing. Obviously, Runnison, Cedric. I think there's a question mark over this. I think
out of the team, I think personally the ones that you basically nailed on to start would be Alex, Cedric, Holding, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Xhaka, Willock, Eddie Nketiah, and Pepe.
Not Ceballos.
I think those ones, but I'm just saying with Ceballos, I think he's kind of like maybe.
Yeah.
And I think Reece is a maybe as well.
Okay. Interesting.
Also, personally for me, I would swap Ceballos and Willock around. So Willock would be the other guy on the right hand side, Ceballos as the left.
How? I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I think however it works, as long as I think the two runners are next to Xhaka.
I think the argument I would say, I think Willock works as more of as a central midfielder and as a runner, as a ball winner, as a guy who can break the lines, as a guy who can pass to the likes of Ceballos and give him the freedom to go forward and to basically create for the front three.
Yeah, I agree. And Sayed knows me well.
Willock has an engine. That's the thing, Chig. Willock has an engine. Willock just gives you that runner, and he gives you that legs in the midfield that he will give you. And he'll pass the ball. He'll break the lines. He's basically like essentially a Guendouzi type of player. He'll basically do everything that Guendouzi does, essentially.
Yeah. And Rune, as far as I know, Chambers has been in training for the last 2 weeks. So he's good. He hopefully should be good to go.
Oh, by the way, Chig, I got some good news for you. Good news. Martinelli is apparently ahead of schedule. He might be back sooner than we think.
So I've heard, because I know he's in training at the moment. So I know he returns to training this week. So we'll see if he makes it before Christmas in terms of properly playing.
And that's a big huge relief for him, because I think we've missed him. I think we've missed him badly, and I think I'd love to see him back personally. I really would. And I can't wait for him to get back.
Yeah,
personally.
I think we all. It's one of the very few things that every single Arsenal fan is united
would agree on.
Everybody's got good high hopes for him, so we'll see what happens. But that's it. But before we go, let me get your prediction for ahead of tomorrow.
Even though I said it's going to be a tough game, even though it's going to be a tough game, I still think we're going to have enough. I think it's going to be a 4-0 clean sheet.
4-0. Wow. Okay, that's confident right there.
And I think this game is one of those games where we're expected to win, we're expected to get the 3 points, and basically these are the kind of games we go, yep, 4-0 clean sheet or 3-0 clean sheet, great performance, standard. We move on to Aston Villa. You know what I mean? I think it's one of those games where we just basically go, yep, it was standard, nothing wrong, no one made mistakes, clean sheet, move on to Aston Villa, and where more of a difficult test awaits, you know. And now, Chig, this is the question. This is the question we got to see: who is going to be the better goalkeeper on the day, Martinez or Leno? It's now on. It's now on.
We'll see. We'll see.
The
We will see. Sorry, hold on 1 second. We'll definitely see, because that is be a big part of my preview. That's for damn sure.
That's the debate, because everyone since Martinez has left has been debating the Leno Martinez thing. Now, because we got Aston Villa, everyone's going to be like, "Oh, okay, all right, that's it." That's it.
My words, though, he'll be the most determined person on that pitch.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100 million%. And I think personally, for me, I know you might disagree on this, yeah, but for me, I would love to see. I know there would be some people that would say that Elneny fits a certain system that Arteta wants to play, but I would love to see him start, because I think he's not done too much wrong. And I think personally, him next to Partey proved how solid our midfield can be. I'm not saying that he's going to be a world beater and he's going to transform our midfield by any means, but I'm just saying that I compared Elneny to a Milner sort of player. He will give you 7 or 8 out of 10 performances each game, and he'll be consistent, you know, and he'll do what's asked of you. He's not going to overcomplicate things. He's not going to make things too difficult. He's basically going to give you 7, 8, 10 out of performance each game, and he's going to say, if Arteta wants him to sit back, he'll sit back. If he wants him to break the lines and pass the ball forward, he'll do that. He doesn't overcomplicate things. He doesn't do things that are not in his wheelhouse. He'll do things in the most simplest form of manner. You know what I mean?
Well said. Okay. I'm going to predict 3-1, because I know Arsenal. But yeah, I think it'll be reasonably comfortable until Arsenal do something stupid and let in a goal. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. It should be a nice, easy-going game.
Oh, by the way, 7 a.m. kickoff in Australia, man. Woo! It's going to be some spicy morning.
Power to you lot is all I can say. Goodness gracious.
I bet man in the United States is getting up at 3 a.m., yeah?
Never. Not for Arsenal. Not for this type of game. But no, anyway, hopefully
what I do for Arsenal, yeah? What I do for Arsenal to get up at 7 a.m. to watch Europa League games, yeah? On a Friday.
I know. Just do what we do, man. That's all you could do. But hopefully you guys all enjoy the game, no matter what time you get up. Please do slap a like on this video. I told you it was going to be very brief. We'll be back again tomorrow to do the watch along, do the review, and see what these players achieve tomorrow. But until then, thank you, Max, for coming on. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Chig. Always a pleasure coming on, Chig. Always love talking to you. You know that. And can I make a quick prediction? When we do the review, yeah, you're gonna have a big smile on your face, yeah, and you're gonna be like sitting there going, "That was comfortable."
I hope so. Listen, I hope so. I could do it. Just a nice, easy-going review. I could do that. I could definitely do that.
And you and Lee are just gonna sit there and go, "That was standard."
Yeah,
you're gonna have your feet put up on the thing, and you're gonna be like, "That was no stress, no stress."
I hope so, man. I hope so. Oh dear. All right then. Well, I'm gonna leave you two guys to it. Take care. Thank you, Max. I appreciate it. And,
always a pleasure.